So we got the trees down, now we need to get them cleaned up. This week on Barely Homesteading. All right, now that we've got the trees down, going to get the chainsaw and cut off the thicker branches with the chainsaw, and then Mama Bear will come back behind with the axe and cut off the smaller branches. The kids will work on taking the branches down to where we're going to chip them, and then once all of the trees are completely clear of branches, we'll cut them up into lengths for firewood or rails, or actually some of these are big enough that I may make some lumber out of them. We got most of the branches cleaned up. Mama Bear is still working on getting the larger branches that we can use for firewood and getting the small branches off of those. I'm going to go start on chipping the smaller branches that are too small for firewood, and we're going to use that chips in various places around the homestead. All right, come on. On the homestead, nothing goes to waste if we can avoid it. So all of the branches that came off of those two trees, we're going to chip. Going to take the chips and use them for bedding in the chicken run and on our paths to get around the property. All right, and with that, we got one bag of chips to go put down in the chicken area. All right, so on Saturday we got all of the branches and the smaller logs cleaned up. All we got left are the two trunks, and so we're going to try to mill a couple of beams out of these. Now on this trunk over here, you can see I've already have my 2x6 guide board attached. I've got my milling bracket attached to the chainsaw, and so I'm going to try to cut all four sides of this and get a somewhat square beam out of it. starting to get kind of late here at the homestead. Don't want to anger the neighbors too much, but I got 3 sides of this beam cut, and you can see looks pretty nice. This is about a 7-inch, 8-inch wide beam right there. We'll see how much I get on the other side once I cut that last side off, but pretty good looking beam, you know, for a standing dead pine. And we'll finish it up another night and get started on the other one. Okay, so we got the beam done. It's not perfect by any means. Got a lot of saw marks. It's not perfectly square, but at least it's in a form that I'll be able to put it on a table saw or a planer, a jointer, and get it in a more usable state. But for now, we are done with this, and we can move on to the next log. Now these are the sides that I cut off of that trunk to make the beam, and nothing goes to waste on the homestead if we can avoid it. So I'm actually going to cut these into lengths to put into the wood stove, and we'll take care of that now. Okay, next beam is done. Let's take a look. So pretty nice. It's got some splits in it, but gives it character. And learned a lot on the last beam. This one was able to get cut a lot squarer. Found out that my guide board had a little twist in it that was giving me problems on that last beam. This one actually is pretty good. So let's get working on the next one. All right, 2 sides of the next beam are done. It's lunchtime, so we're going to stop, eat lunch, let the saw cool, sharpen it, do the other 2 sides. All right, that beam's done. Let's take a look. Now this particular log had a lot more taper in it, so you can see down here it didn't quite get cleaned up all the way. But for the most part, it's a pretty good looking beam, and we'll be able to do something with it fun here in the near future. So we've got a couple of small logs still to clean up, and all of the side pieces that we've cut off of the beams still need to be cut up into firewood. Almost done. All right, on these smaller logs, I'm only going to mill 3 sides because I'm just going to turn it into lumber. And so with 3 sides milled, I'll be able to put it on the bandsaw and the table saw in the shop and clean it up and cut it into all of the lumber that I need. All right, we're starting to get a few rain sprinkles. Looks like we got a small storm coming in. So I'm going to move the camera into the temporary goat shelter. It's a good thing this doesn't have smell-o-vision. All right, both trees are cleaned up, and now we can get this area back to normal. Hope you enjoyed watching us fell these 2 trees and mill some lumber out of them. With that, this is Lumberjack for Barely Homesteading, saying use it up, wear it out, make it do, or do without. Please like and subscribe.